Curtis King, yes. Should I be paying to play shows in my local community? Should you do pay-to-play shows? Now, what are pay-to-play shows to begin with? Pay-to-play shows are basically where you have to sell a certain amount of tickets, or you have to come up with a certain amount of money to secure a position within a show. Usually have this business handled between a rapper and a promoter, and the promoter says, look, man, I got 50 tickets for $20 for you to open up for, I don't know, Lupe Fiasco, whoever, and I need you to sell these tickets so that I can ensure that I get a little bit of cut of this. Now, there's two ways to look at it. Now, one way that most people are going to look at it, rappers are going to say, I'm not trying to pay for me to get in front of an audience. I think that's whack. Y'all up here trying to take my money and I don't get but a penny of a fraction of what you guys are actually making off my tickets. And this is true. They're basically employing you to get your fan base out to the show when that's actually your job every day. But they're employing you and you're getting pennies off of that dollar. But there's some pros and there's cons. One of the pros is being in front of an audience that may be aligned with your type of music. If they like a certain type of artist and you're similar to that type of artist, that's where it becomes beneficial. Now, if you're an underground, and I don't even know if they call them underground nowadays anymore, but if you're like super cerebral, third eye, the government's trying to get if you're one of them kind of rappers, political rappers, you should not be opening up for Chief Keef. It just does not align. But yet you see it all the time. And then you get people who say, oh, F pay to play shows because there's no benefit in it. Well, you didn't go in there with a concise plan. You didn't go in there with a specific plan of action of how you can make that make sense financially. If you know you're already going in there and it's a loss because you're only getting fractions upon the tickets you're selling, you got to go do some realignment. You got to do some soul searching and figure out, what did I do wrong? What you did wrong is you made a decision based upon the glamour of being in front of a huge audience. I've always said it's not a matter of being in front of a huge audience. I want to be in front of a relevant audience. If I know I'm in front of people that are going to actively go buy my merchandise, they're going to actively search my music out, I will do smaller shows just because I know they're more valuable than being in front of 1,000 people. It's almost like if you have a cold calling job. Any of y'all ever had a cold calling job? Raise your hand. Not me, I didn't have no cold calling job. But if you did, you understand that you got to get on the phone and basically call 1,000 people and sell them something, and every single one of them don't want to hear from you. That being said, it's no different when you're trying to do a pay-for-play show. You're really taking a chance, and sometimes it works really great. Sometimes it can be a disadvantage. You can lose a lot of money. Now, on the flip side of it, nobody ever wants to see it from the promoter standpoint, but a lot of artists can't guarantee that they can bring 5 people to a show. Better yet, 10, 20, 30. They can't even bring 5 people to the show. So for a promoter, he needs you to ensure that by putting you in this position, it's not just, I'm going to give you this shot and I don't get nothing out of it. He needs to make sure you're going to bring some heads in there so at the end of the day, he can take care of his business and his bottom line. So try to see things from both perspectives. I don't think there really is a distinct answer from me about whether they're good or bad. It just depends on where you're at in your career and what exactly do you need. And can you make it make sense? And I mean that in a literal and a figurative sense. Sense? Yes, sense. Once again, that's another Curtspiration. Look, if you need some more of this juice, it ain't Minute Maid, subscribe to the channel below. But like I said earlier, pay-to-play shows are not the devil. They're not the evilest thing in the world. They can have many pros and they do have many cons, just like anything else in life, but it's all a matter of knowing what exactly you want to get accomplished. If you know what you want to get accomplished, I'm telling you, you can figure out a play to make it make sense. I have some older videos in my artist marketing that talk about how to make it make sense. So you already know, like I always say, in this life, you will not be full of life until you live life to its fullest. Curtis King of CurtisKingBeats.com.
I can't listen to you. When I listen to you, it's a liability, cause you be mentally killing my inner energy. So I'm concealing my feelings before you injure me.